Putrajaya is Malaysia's administrative capital, a city that looks like it was designed in a single afternoon by a very precise person with a very sharp ruler. It was meant to be a shining vision of Malaysia's future: grand architecture, wide open roads, order, cleanliness, and serenity. But somewhere along the way, someone forgot to add life. At night, it feels like an abandoned city. No cinemas, no crowded restaurants, no street food, no mess. Just one thing: runners. As if the entire city collectively decided, out of sheer boredom, to get absolutely shredded. But beneath all this symmetry and pastel pinks, there's drama, spiritual drama. Because here, in this polished, orderly city, are two of the most iconic mosques in Southeast Asia. The Putra Mosque, with a pink dome that makes everyone who sees it smile, and Masjid Tuanku Mizan Zainal Abidin, the Iron Mosque, sleek and futuristic, like it was designed by Apple. But this episode isn't really about architecture. It's about something far more entertaining. It's about this guy. Now, let me say this up front. The guide you're about to meet didn't read from a script. He speaks from the heart. He told me himself, yes, I embellish, but only to make it interesting, because Islam can feel dry to tourists. And honestly, I respect that. So rather than cutting him down or calling him out, I want you to enjoy this the way I did. Think of it as a kind of game, a gentle game of spot the embellishment. Sometimes you'll laugh, sometimes you'll learn something, and sometimes you'll pause the video to Google what he just said. So let's roll.
So when we do dakwah to the non-Muslim, we cannot go direct because religion is a very dry subject. People would not want to hear, right? So what we do is that, do you know what is this all about? These are
Right.
plants, right? You say,
Right.
yeah, okay, it's plant. So what does it mean? So Allah said, I send down the rainwater from the sky
Right.
for the various crops to grow, and the
Right.
crop is our food, right? So without rainwater, we don't have food.
Right.
So I send down the rainwater. Who sent? God. Which God? Allah. Okay, you understand now.
Subhanallah. So the masjid is used
As a
way of
metaphor, as a metaphor from secular,
Yeah.
you transfer to faith.
Subhanallah.
For example, now this thing glass, right, from darkness
Yes.
to light,
From
right?
darkness to light.
Right. Okay. And then you look at this one. This is another interesting one. This is a head and shoulder, a head, shoulder, a head, shoulder, which shows you the south.
Okay, the Saf.
Ah.
Subhanallah.
Right? The shifting of the direction of the prayer from Masjid, from Palestine, Al-Aqsa,
Al-Aqsa to-
Masjid Haram, and then you have 2719, which is in Kufi calligraphy. You have one Kufi here and one Kufi here. So this is 2719, where Prophet Sulaiman thanked Allah for the good life that was given to him. Right? So this one, Al Imran 190, do not put us in disgrace during the day of judgment. Right? So if you do good things, I promise you. All right? This is the center of the mihrab. Center here.
Right.
Right? So we bring them in the center. So this is how Allah, the creator, is being written in Arabic. So who is Allah? Right? The God that creates you and me. So without Allah, we're not talking today.
Right.
Right? So you come to this masjid upon his invitation, actually.
How many people, mashallah, have taken Shahada here?
Currently, today, it's about 32. We
32,
had
mashallah.
one today from Taiwan.
From today, mashallah, from Taiwan.
Yeah.
Subhanallah. I wish I was here to see that.
Alhamdulillah.
When was that?
This afternoon.
Okay.
Right? And there was the furthest one which Ada was a guy from Tonga in South Africa.
Yeah.
Ribs, right? Ribs.
Yes,
So
ribs.
Adam was created from the clay,
Yes.
and Eve was created from his ribs,
From
right?
his ribs.
So there is an hadith which says that for the woman, right?
Yes.
It says that speak nicely to woman, because woman is created from the ribs. The upper portion is the most curved portion. If you try to bend it, it will break. And if you try to remain it as it is, it will remain crooked.
And this
Right.
this is representing ribs.
Ribs, right? Although it is not counted as the how many ribs and all that,
Right.
but the
Not an
illustration,
exact number,
right? The
but an
illustration, right?
The Rauda in
Rauda,
the
right?
Prophet's
Right,
masjid,
house.
yes.
And the Prophet's house is behind on the right.
Yes.
So this is the Prophet's house. Right? Open up this door. Assuming this is the Prophet's house, but now it is a control room, right? And all that.
Okay.
Right? So when you go out, this is considered as the Rauda.
I see.
Okay, Rauda, which starts from here, right? From here, square until here. So this is the this masjid, the architecture is based mostly from the Persian architecture during the Safavid era,
Right.
during that time. And if you look, and then the contractor is a Saudi bin Laden from Saudi Arabia. So most of the granites and the marbles are from Saudi Arabia. And you look at the roots over here, right? So when they want to make this pattern here, they have to mill, right, using a technology by milling, so it will cut off, and at the same time it will automatically cut off the roots away. You find out the roots are coming back at its original position. The stone is alive. Wow, right? Okay, so I was being challenged by geologists about this. They said that, oh, since this masjid is on water, right, gradually it will submerge, and compress.
Right.
Right. Okay, I can buy your idea, but how come only certain area come out, not all areas, right? Then he doesn't have the answer. But yeah, so I said, kun fayakun. All right, if Allah wants it to be, it will be, right? So then he kept quiet. Wood called the cengal, right? So
Chinar.
you get cengal.
Chinar,
It's
yeah.
a very hard wood. Actually, they use it for the pillars of houses, right?
Yeah.
So you see how they drill, and then they use a small chisel to make all this, and then make it into a geometrical or Arabic design here. And it doesn't use any nail, right? So what happened, they want to transfer this mimbar here, they have to dismantle part because it will shake so much on the truck. So as it come here, they screw it back. So they use the interlocking system.
It's all interlocking.
Interlocking system.
Subhanallah.
So the first design of the masjid's mimbar was not the pedestal type, it was the floating type. It came out here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right? But it doesn't look so nice because the prayer hall is so big, right? So when the imam came out and do the khutbah, it doesn't look good.
Right.
So the fourth and the seventh Prime Minister, Tun Dr. Mahathir, he was the idea. He came up with the idea of this masjid, and he suggested that the pedestal, the mimbar to be in the pedestal. This is the actual stairs leading
To the floating member,
member,
which isn't there
Now
anymore.
they close it up. The wall.
I see.
Right, so
This is not something everybody gets to
so
see.
yeah,
This is very
you
special.
go out here,
MashaAllah.
right? Boom. These are the door, and then they create the wall outside.
Right. And this is where it used to be
Correct.
floating.
Correct. In 1999.
Right.
The air will come in all direction because there is no hills and so forth, right?
So you're using the lakes around
Correct.
the masjid.
Right. So
to cool.
90% of this building is on water.
Right.
Right. So you see
90% is on water.
on water. Right.
So this has foundations that go
Correct.
into the
Piling
water.
and all that. Right.
Subhanallah.
Right. So that's why when we talk to the tourists, we said the dome is 36 meter in diameter,
Right.
top to bottom is 63 meter, supporting by 12 columns, right? We call it the umbrella column over here.
Right.
So each of the columns will carry the air conditioning system,
I see.
right? And it is also being considered as the 12th calendar month of Islam.
Okay.
Right? I know that, right? So you see the louvers over here. There are louvers over here,
Yes.
right?
I see those.
The idea was to extract the air from the lake.
Right.
But of course, most of the time hot air will come in with
Right.
all the insects, right? So good idea but bad practice. Right. So in I think 2019, something about 2 years later or 3 years after that, they worked out with a carrier from USA to install the HVAC, high voltage aircon system.
And these chandeliers you're saying?
Correct. The chandeliers, you have all the Fleur-de-Lis design or European design, your Gucci here, right? Over here, inside here, and all that, surrounded here.
How big was the lake before?
650 hectare.
Is the total?
Okay. So apparently, this land that we are standing now is a hillock. A hillock is a hill surrounded with water. They chop off the hill to make this building, to make this masjid, and
Right.
open up the gaps. The water
Right.
becomes the lake. Every time it rains, the water will be drained inside here and then discharged to the lake.
Okay. Really? It goes down to the lake. Subhanallah,
Right.
these are funnels.
Right, fine. So this is called the clerestory window. The clerestory window over here,
Yeah.
all right, protects the rainwater from coming in inside here, right? And then the air can just provide the air to go inside to cool down the lighting system, right?
SubhanAllah. What an incredible system.
Right. Okay. So you can see this one. We have this is called the apex here.
Yeah.
This is a 24 karat gold.
On top of the dome.
Right.
24 karat
So
gold.
what they do, they the mosaics, right? We send to Thailand, dip into a 24 karat gold, and they glue it together.
Wow.
Glue it over here, glue it over here, glue
Wow.
it over
All
here.
the domes have this
Right,
on top.
right. So why Thailand?
Yeah.
Most of the temple are gold plated, right?
Right.
So
So they know how to do
they
it.
know how to do it.
Oh, we got a boat.
Water taxi, I think.
Water taxi?
Yeah. Okay, I'll show you the original size.
yeah, the
Come.
Yeah, I want to see. So the dome is made up entirely of mosaic.
Yes.
Right, and then they glue it together, you know, to make the floral motif. This is ilang-ilang flower, you know.
Right.
Right? So they have to cut off the pieces and then glue it together.
So, and to restore it, you had to then
They have to grind it off, everything.
grind it off and then redid the whole thing.
Correct. Alright. With the
Oh, okay.
24 karat gold.
I can see the tiles.
Correct.
Yes, that's the
Right.
time.
you
That's
go
the
clear,
size.
you can see the mosaic, right?
Yes, I
25
can.
feet. Right.
I can.
So you imagine that big dome.
That huge
Yeah.
dome made up of these little
Yes,
tiles.
these little tiles.
Jigsaw
That's
puzzle.
what had to be
Yes,
restored.
that's why it's 2 years. It takes 2 years.
Jigsaw puzzle.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Incredible.
The state of Selangor, yeah, because this land belongs to him. So
this
they
is
want
the
to form
Sultan
a
of
Sultan of Selangor.
Selangor.
Selangor. So they want to form a new state which is called Wilayah Persekutuan, which comprises of Putrajaya, Kuala Lumpur and Labuan.
Okay.
So the 4th and 7th Prime Minister met the Sultan and negotiated how to purchase the land. So they bought 5,000 hectares of the land costing 100 million ringgit during that time.
Okay.
And this land was formerly a rubber estate and then they turned up to be a oil palm estate.
Rubber estate, I thought it was the pump.
Oil palm.
Yeah. They call it Perang Besar. You know what is the meaning of Perang Besar?
I don't know what is it.
Okay, Perang Besar means big war.
Big war.
You know why big war? Okay, you notice there are so many hills over here. One of them is over there, the Foreign Affairs Department,
Right.
right? Another one is the Prime Minister's office on top of the hill.
Okay.
Another one is this one. They chop it off. So what happened in 1943? The Japanese landed in the East Coast. They marched, they walked, they cycled until they reached here. The British Army, the Gurkhas, the Malay Regiment came and fought with them, but they still proceed until to Singapore where they surrendered.
Okay.
That is why I call it the Big War.
محمد رسول الله.
Real quick while you're here, I want to share something close to my heart. I started Qutor in 2016 so my kids could learn Tajweed, Arabic and Hifz from amazing tutors around the world. And Alhamdulillah, 2 of them became Huffaz using it. Now, thousands of students are using Qutor to get closer to the Quran. And you could too. With a synchronized Quran, Qaida and whiteboard, Qutor feels like your tutor is right there with you. Click the link in the description, choose a tutor and try a free lesson today. Now, back to the video. A 10-minute drive across the bridge and the mood shifts. The Iron Mosque, 6,000 tons of stainless steel. No minarets, no domes, no distractions. Just steel, glass, and silence. Here, the wind does the talking, a quiet breeze rolling off the lake and through the open mesh wall. The space is open air, but cool. It doesn't try to impress, it just is. No tour guide here, just wind through steel columns, the sound of water, and the feeling that maybe, just maybe, faith doesn't always need to be explained. Look, not everything has to be literal, or historically precise, or architecturally accurate down to the last rib. Sometimes a little embellishment helps you remember. Sometimes sincerity sounds like storytelling. And if our guide was occasionally off script, I'll forgive him. Because for a brief moment, Putrajaya didn't feel sterile. It felt human. And that, to me, is something worth filming.